Poland is still stuck without full crypto-rule alignment after Parliament again failed to overturn the president's veto. The rule process matters because it changes business planning before it changes trading screens. Poland crypto regulation is getting attention fast, yet the part traders actually need is whether lawmakers rewrite the bill or leave Poland lagging further behind MiCA timelines. For companies trying to launch products, each delay or exemption changes licensing plans, compliance work, and how much legal risk sits in every rollout decision. That is why these stories feel slow in real time and then suddenly important once deadlines, launches, and licensing work start colliding. That is why the move, filing, freeze, or proposal matters right now, not just as a headline, but as a test of who is exposed and what actually changes next. Then timing and sequencing decide who has clarity first. Reports say lawmakers got 243 votes, well below the 263 needed, leaving the country isolated inside the EU on implementation timing. Rulemaking stories move slowly, but they matter because exchanges, issuers, and banks start planning long before the final legal text is finished. The legal calendar matters because businesses do not wait for perfect clarity before they start spending time and money to prepare. That mechanism is what turns Poland and MiCA alignment from a simple headline into a live market or policy problem. Once you see how the pressure is transmitted, the later price or governance reaction makes a lot more sense. The final piece is how much uncertainty stays alive after the headline. That matters because exchanges, issuers, and users need a stable rulebook, not another round of political deadlock. The affected group includes banks, stablecoin issuers, broker-dealers, exchanges, and users whose access depends on the final wording. Once several agencies or political actors are involved, sequencing becomes almost as important as the final substance. For companies trying to launch products, each delay or exemption changes licensing plans, compliance work, and how much legal risk sits in every rollout decision. Search interest is clustering around Poland crypto regulation, but the important split is between what is confirmed and what is still missing. AP and other reports say Poland's parliament again fell short of the 263 votes needed to overturn the presidential veto. What is confirmed here is the core event and the immediate consequence around Poland and MiCA alignment. What is still open is how the market, the regulator, the exchange, or the users respond once the first reaction passes. That is also why one speech, veto, or comment extension request can change near-term momentum without rewriting the whole framework. Regulatory gaps invite fraud risk and drive uncertainty for legitimate firms trying to operate under EU-wide standards. That does not automatically decide price direction, but it does tell you where the market is vulnerable if the next update goes the wrong way. For markets, uncertainty is rarely just abstract. It changes costs, timelines, and which products can move first. The useful habit here is to separate the event itself from the assumptions people rush to stack on top of it. When the assumptions start outrunning the confirmed details, volatility usually widens before clarity improves. Poland crypto regulation is the phrase pulling in search traffic, but the real issue is regulatory gaps invite fraud risk and drive uncertainty for legitimate firms trying to operate under EU-wide standards. The next signal is whether lawmakers rewrite the bill or leave Poland lagging further behind MiCA timelines. The signal that matters most is the next concrete legal text, because that is where theory turns into operating rules. That next signal matters because it will tell you whether this stays a one-day shock, a tradable trend, a compliance shift, or a deeper trust problem. That is the part worth tracking after the noise fades.